Hello, everybody. Once again, it's nice to reconnect with all of you. I just wanted to hop on here and see what co-creation we end up culminating together. I was only informed on the fact that the topic of discussion would be revealed to me. Flow like water and outward things will disclose themselves to you during this time. So here we are today. A side note, if you have been on the waiting list for personal reads from the 25th of April to the 1st of May, they were just all sent out today for the rest of them. So check your emails. And we're going to go ahead and get into it. I have no idea what will come through. But I look forward to seeing what shows up as a topic of discussion. Ooh, how is everybody doing during this full moon? And are we connected? Let me know. How has this found you on your path? And what have you been getting up to today? I'm gonna pull one cosmos. I feel empowered. I saw that, you know. I feel empowered. I saw that for sure. Yeah. Are we a bit dark in here on the visuals? Let me know. I feel like it looks darker on here than there. Let me sort this around real quick. The one thing that came through though was the formless essence, being able to anchor more of the feminine. Today, it feels like being more in that flow state and being open to the unknown. For that's where the magic is inviting you. I'm seeing as well, leaning into new experiences is going to be paramount in this new season. Right, let me go ahead and sort this around real quick. Shifting the filters. Shifting the way you see yourself. Is that better? Thank you so much, Anthony, for your super chat. 5 is all about changes, very fitting for the month of May. May rapid, beautiful changes reveal themselves to you on the path that you're embarking on. May the energy that you send out ripple through the cosmos and return to you tenfold. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go ahead and open up with a cosmos message. I'm not sure how long we'll be on here for, but let's see where the wind takes us. Very fitting for the Scorpio full moon. We have a geocentric model. Now it's also coming up reverse. So geocentric model is essentially, we can see it as the DNA of the earth in many ways. And that's when we tune into our root. It is the largest primordial center of life force. It's where, you know, the root connects to the crown. It's like where the non-physical manifests into form. And that was another message that was coming through that I was tuning into before. It was, what was it about? It was a lot to do with the higher self. Anyway, this is, geocentric model is all about the ego and the wounded self. There is a version of self and wounds that exist within us that we're being called to observe and hold space for. But it's beautiful because you have light curve, which talks about a changeable wave. So I'm seeing this as you changing your relationship to this octave. The moment you observe it, you create that gap, and that's what we call choice and free will in the system. Geocentric model talks about the cause and effect of the bloodline that you incarnated into. So there are many unconscious causes that have created this momentum, and you are the fractal of awareness that incarnates into the lineage of the wounded self. and becomes conscious awareness and begins to interrupt the effect by creating new conscious causes. And therefore you guide the lineage into ascended ways of thinking, feeling, and relating to your journey on earth. So you're transforming your relationship to your internal worlds first, your mind and emotional state, and that is ultimately transforming your relationship with the material plane. It's leading to mastery over matter, mastery in your ability as a creator to co-create with the physical realm, with the earth, and also timelines of experience. Let me also, I mean, we can read this too. Geocentric model, so you can see. I keep hearing the Lightseers deck, so we're definitely going to pull an overlay for this real quick. Let's get a message for geocentric model. The Tower of Ust. So the Tower of Ust is literally, okay, so this message found you for a reason, right? The message that's coming through is the Tower upright is like a change that someone is resisting, right? They're feeling overpowered by change and they're bracing for a change. The Tower of Ust is the one that incarnates geocentric model into a bloodline, observes the octave of consciousness that are hosting within them, which is the fractal of expression of the ancestors that continue to re-express themselves through our emotional state. And when we observe those emotions, we recognize that there is a part of us that feels fearful of that change. And it's not fear of the old, it usually is fear of releasing the structure of a familiar realm. Okay, it's more of fear of leaving the old behind and less of fear of leaning into the new experiences. And the Tower of Ust is someone doing the opposite. So they're becoming empowered by change and they're embracing the change and they're becoming an agent of change. So that's what you're doing with geocentric model. And then with Six of Cups at the base, this is a Sun and Scorpio card. So it talks about past and past lives. So you're doing something in this lifetime that you were not able to do previously, right? And those who have come before you. We have the wounded ego. This says, does everything rotate around the earth? This theory stated that we were at the center of the universe. The universe is immense and we are definitely not at its center. This card is related with the ego, insecurities, and projection onto others. When we take something personally, it does not say anything about the other person, but it does say a lot about ourselves. Did it hurt? Because it shouldn't. Recognizing that for some reason our ego is damaged by a point or topic is a powerful virtue. The greatest transformations come when we allow ourselves to grow and change, but the message that's coming through, okay, is that something around that change and the identity. So when we evolve beyond certain belief systems, we also are then birthing a new identity and a new self into being. And when we are stepping into a new identity, this version of self that we're growing and evolving into has evolved beyond certain belief systems. I'm hearing these are traditions, traditional belief systems, societal belief systems, constructs, conditioning. That's what I'm seeing when we talk about traditions. It's something that's been repeated through time and has been inherited. So you're evolving beyond this inherited belief system in many ways. Anyway, it speaks about nobody does anything to you personally. Everyone is immersed in a battle with their own demons. Taking something personally is effectively accepting some fear or insecurity that prevents an open moon being seen clearly or with a broad mind. When we are called to take certain action that disrupts an old identity or what an outdated version of ourselves would have done or would have handled it, we have no point of reference or, let's say, data within our internal network of what will come next. And there is so much beauty in that destructive force that you are, that destructive system that chooses to embrace the tower moment, for it's in the collapse that a new self emerges. So I'm seeing pleasant surprises as well within this energy, pleasant surprises. And I'm seeing, they keep saying like historical, something that leaves a mark in historical timeline. So this is some type of action, right? This isn't non-action with the Tower of Us. This is somebody taking some type of action, a new action that creates a new reaction in the system, all right? Let your guard down. It calls for a change in perspective. Explore your inner self, and I'm seeing inner realms. Investigate the fear or pain lying deep within. If it shows itself, it's because there's more hiding behind it. The portal is to work on fears and self-love. It talks about rose quartz as well, which is a powerful mineral that can help you with this task, which is all about the heart space. Yeah, how are you guys feeling today? I was just gonna jump on to say hello once again. I cannot see all the comments. Here we go. Okay. Let's get a Shaman's Dream Oracle message to you. Back at it again. Yes, Viali, you're very welcome to join me, by the way, if you want to hop on here. We have stars in the sky, limitless possibility. Stars in the sky, limitless possibility is, what if you've been only seeing a tiny glimpse of what is possible? It's something that surpasses I'm seeing the small self's expectations. It's something that, again, you become very pleasantly surprised by. 51 is limitless possibility and embracing some kind of opportunity. When you look up into the velvety dark blanket of the night sky, covering the vast expanse of space, can you count all the stars twinkling above? Can you imagine that you're only seeing a tiny glimpse of the silver of what's possible? This is a domain of limitless possibilities and a never-ending sea of potential that you yourself are made up of and have now at your disposal. Your life is now alive with possibilities, and use your clear focus to home in on what avenue most calls for your exploration. It's time to choose and not be distracted by the sheer magnitude of what may be. Be here now and gather your thoughts and your most cherished dreams. Focus on the brightest star in your never-ending sky and take a small step, small movements towards calling this glittering potential into reality. If you can imagine this, hold that vision and you'll summon all the celestial helpers and guides to aid you into bringing this into fruition. Keep your focus on the essence of potential rather than the form of it. The universe has its own ideas for how to best serve you and all others. Trust that this is a fact rather than theory, and you ought not be surprised when your dreams come true, for surely they will. Just the way you need them to. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all. Where to start? Here. Dun, dun. It does feel like Xmas morning. All right. Let's take a look at a star child message and see what comes through in this space. Depths of love. I'm seeing this as a sense of echolocation too, because you know dolphins have a sense of like echolocation, right? Oh, and you have another dolphin energy at the base, which is unlock your gifts. Depths of love. There's something about as you go into the deepest depths of your shadow and also the wounded ego, right? When we talk about geocentric model, the unmet needs of your own inner child and greeting that with love. Let's see. I'm going to get up the message for this card too real quick. This is a Metatron's cube energy, and it's number 10. Okay, this card says, let go of fear to jump into love. Let go beyond attachments. I feel a firework of joyful recognition. The pure light in me springs forth, embracing the pure light in you. Let us dance together with the whole of creation. It speaks about in the depths of awakening lies a liberated paradigm of love, deeper than mental grasping and emotional clinging, and unaffected by betrayal or neglect. Fear melts away in the arms of the divine feminine, intimately present in the depths of love. So we spoke about that already, right? Tuning into more of the divinity within you, the non-physical aspect, experiencing and exploring and expressing itself through form. And remembering yourself as that higher intelligence, cultivating a deep, profound sense of internal trust as you navigate this set of what feels to the ego and the linear logical mind as complex changes, but I'm seeing it as inevitable changes that are a natural next evolution and stage as you ascend into this highest octave and expression of you, that are refraction mechanism, but a reflection of the internal change that has already occurred. And so prepare to see that mirrored in the world around you. We don't see the world as it is, but we see it as we are. So as we remember ourselves as limitless, formless, fluid, and free, we see a plethora of experiences available to us that begin to present and meet and greet us on our path as expressions of the one source that we are. When we believe ourselves to be limited or disconnected or severed from our own divinity and our connection to the divine, we begin to experience changes as a vicious cycle instead of moving it through it with a level of virtue. And I keep hearing like moral compass, but soul compass, soul navigation. And I'm seeing it like the heart flicker. You're onto something. And your heart tells you, and I'm hearing it's the heart's desire specifically. All right, it's the heart's desires. Okay, this message also says, this card invites you to go beyond the mind's perception of love and to embrace universal love. All right, listen to this next part, right? It says, isn't listening to the heart what counts the most? Even if the voice of fear tells you not to. Literally, hands down what we just said. Love always comes from the same cosmic heart source, whether it's cosmic love for the whole planet, sharing with friends or family, or an intimate love for a partner. Perhaps you've heard, of divine compliments. And it goes on to speak about The highest form of love is to let go beyond attachment. Some never attach to anyone fully. However, they're attached to their own fear. The fear to fully jump into the relationship and the fear to let go are part of the same attachment. So I'm seeing this as the fear to fully jump into the depths of love, the depth of experience awaiting to embrace you. It reminds me of being in the cenote, being in the cave, right? And this cave, the water was so deep, and they were like so deep that there were scuba divers in the cave, and there were like bats, which are like seen through the illusion, one bat flying around. Anyway, like when we saw the people scuba diving, we were like, they know things. There's mermaids in here, or there's something in the depths of that. But yet we jumped in anyway, not knowing what was going to be in that territory. And I'm seeing that with jumping in with both feet right now and doing your part and allowing, again, the ground to just rise up and meet you. So dear one, if there's nothing new coming into your life, it might be because you're attached to the old paradigm, which is what we said, like part 2 of the part 1 in our last session together, where I said, you know, if the universe, if you haven't experienced great change this year, yeah, it's because you're resisting when it comes to the universe intervening. And the thing is, fate will come in and intervene when it feels like we're not working as proactively as we should be on our soul's path. And that is the Tower moment of like disruptive changes. But can we see it as more a series of invitations, right? Where am I actually being invited towards, to step into, to experience? So yeah, I'm seeing this as Uranus energy. The Tower is Uranus energy as well, right? It's the lightning bolt. So it's electric, like air, but it's also electric water, right? It's the water bearer. And when we talk about Ganymede and the story of, you know, him being the bridge between the gods and also the humans, and he was able to be seated in both experiences in both realms, but treat them equally. So I'm seeing it almost as if, can you treat, not put the unknown or some kind of desire that you have up on a pedestal, but see it as an experience that is your birthright too. Like, begin to normalize what it is that you romanticize. That's like another message just in general, like collectively. Can you romanticize the things that you have been, can you normalize the things that you've been romanticizing, right? All right, so it also says the first thing you will find in the ocean is love. It's the love of self and the nurturing of your body and soul. In the waves and the warm waters, you learn to float freely and be unaffected by the strings of attachment. And then you'll see that ripple to the surface. Solar energy. Okay, let me go ahead and get a message up on my notes, and I'm going to look up the dolphins because I'd had a dream about them. For echolocation, and let me see what comes up because there's probably going to be a download there. If I can find it, this is going to be a spur of the moment one because this was a few years ago. But if we think about echolocation, right, it's something that you focus on when it comes to sonar waves. It's something that you can hear. It's you tuning into your multi-sensory perception system. It's where you can utilize more senses. Some certain senses are being amplified during this time, and it gives you a sense of direction. And I'm seeing that be the heart. The heart has its own neural network. It's able to tune into experiences that are encoded in the infinite stories that you could experience in the unfoldment of your own life. And when we understand that there are infinite stories of how that could unfold, we begin to not only become the narrator, right, and control the narrative, but we also become the character or the main character that gets to explore and experience that exploration, not necessarily knowing what the next chapter entails or what's going to be on the next page as it turns, because that's the Six of Cups energy at the base. This is like the next chapter energy, right? It's the end of an old chapter and the beginning of a new. So it talks about the past And you can see here, this is almost like a quantum leap energy in this context, because he's turning from a boy into a man, right? This is like maturation on a physical level. And the true soul maturation is to recognize yourself as being more non-physical than you are physical, which means that you're extremely malleable. I don't know if I'm going to find it, guys. It's from quite a few years ago. Anyway, it talks about being able to meet this ecstatic being. You're ready to deepen the connection during this time. Okay, feeling electricity, a gentle electricity, and going into a higher state of evolution, grand expansion, and what is happening even beyond your conscious mind, and creating space for this divine event to materialize into reality. That's what this feels like. It feels like a great divine event. Yeah, very much so. The depths of love that touch my soul not allow me to go even deeper. Letting go of all karmic contracts, I create freedom and joy all around me. That's a quote. Beautiful. Let's get a Magic of the Gathering card. Since this is a magical gathering that we've all found ourselves in, typically I'm a bit more behind the scenes and this could be full moon because it hits my 12th house, but I was feeling very mystical today. Full moons coming and going. We have the mentor. It could be something that you're learning or teaching during this time. Oh, something that you're learning or teaching, the mentor. Let's take a look at this. Okay, we all have someone we admire, a mentor who embodies principles that we model our lives after, or an aspirational version of ourselves that we know dwells within us. Can we just reflect on that sentence for a moment? An aspirational version of ourselves that dwells within us. It's not about an octave or your higher self being anything that's external, inaccessible. We romanticize this version of ourselves, but what if that became something that we stopped putting on a pedestal and we started anchoring into the normal? I don't remember what I channeled before, but it was, can someone say it in the comment section? I said something around like no longer romanticizing something, but then something rhymed with that. I don't remember. Their example guides us towards mastering our own minds and emotions so that we can create a better future. Although we are the ones responsible for our own lives, there are times when we need the input and support of others. Don't be isolated from your own thinking, and don't be afraid to ask for help. That's also another message. And I'm seeing this as from your future self, but the mentor is almost like something that you are learning, something that you may be teaching. We don't always see that what it is that we're experiencing in the present moment is going to benefit our soul's evolution tremendously, and also the wisdom in which we're going to gather from the knowledge of that experience, and how that wisdom can be shared and imparted, and that becomes a form of enlightenment, right? It's the moment that we remember ourselves as a light being inside of the experience, so we see it clearly for the first time, and we also recognize everyone else as light beings, and then that becomes its own ripple effect. Normalize what you romanticize. Thank you, Lee. Very much so. Normalize what it is that you romanticize. That's what we should be doing, right? Instead of like trying to lower your vision to the height of where you see yourself now, just raise yourself to the level of that vision. That's really what it is. It's normal. When we create or believe that the universe, which is just the one verse in you that you're a master and experiencing yourself in, wake up inside the dream, is something that is our parent, and we are disconnected and we are powerless and we are someone that doesn't have control of the narrative. Destiny is not just something that's handed to you and it's a script that you follow. Destiny and free will bleeds into all dimensions, right? That it's a whole topic with free will, because I'm not going to get into that rabbit hole right now, but there are different laws that govern each dimension, and you know, the privilege of being able to experience this specific dimension is it supplies us a lot more limited experiences, but those limitations and boundaries are the very thing that allows it to become interactive, right? Like law of duality is something that bleeds into many realms, but it allows the one consciousness to experience itself through many different subjective forms. But it's the very boundary between you and also what it is that you desire that provides you the experience or the journey of witnessing the unfoldment of, first of all, not having it in order to attain it. But when we recognize that the desire itself and the journey was an illusion, all that really mattered was the unfoldment of the journey. Like, we come here to experience that journey. You are what it is that you seek because you are the very thing that you desire. Does that make sense? Okay, so how is everyone doing? What's your is there any questions that you guys may have as well that you want to touch on? And what are we doing? What book teaches the laws of dimensions? I can't reference a book. That just comes from exploring your own internal dimensions. Really, you can take a look at like different dimensional layers. I've done readings on that actually, like back in the day. I think I was doing ones on like alpha, beta, gamma, and the higher self. We can like touch on that. I think it was one where I was talking about traveling through space-time consciously and altering the course of your life. Let me also plug this in real quick. Give me a sec. But yeah, the illusion is that destiny is something that's handed to you, right? It's actually something that you create in the system, and the illusion exists to serve you. And the moment that we remember that, we step into our power, and it's serving your formless eternal nature, experiencing itself while seated within this physical form. So with dimensions, I think on that one, I touched on time dimensions, and we were introducing how each plane of consciousness is accompanied by certain beings that also dwell within those realms, and that's just the natural progression through hyperspace. So you have like the alpha realm, which is like your alpha third dimensional vessel, and this vessel is composed up of the cells that exist from planet Earth. So we are manifested through the natural laws of this physical environment, which are subject to things like gravity, which is why our vessel looks a certain way. So alpha is like third dimension, you have beta, which is fourth dimension, fifth dimension is gamma. But the thing is, like, even if we go through them, like delta is like 60, epsilon is 70, you have lambda, which is 80, sigma, which is 90, and the omega, which is the 10th dimension. But we believe that dimensions are external concepts and they're somewhere else, right? That's what the brain is formatted to believe. But they're actually internal dimensions, which are just frequencies within us. And it's an interface of where the divine meets alpha, right? It meets the third dimension that we're existing in. And it's divided literally by vibration. So they exist within the here and now. They're essentially overlapped frequencies, and each one is our auric field as well. So yeah, you can think about it as like the auric field and the different layers, which I touch on in loads of the readings that I do. But yeah, you're a multi-dimensional being, so you can access past lives, dream spaces, interdimensional or alien aspects of yourself as you enter into these realms, you know, parts of your starseed lineages and deeper archetypal manifestations. But yeah, part of your legacy is in your DNA to access like this vast amount of information or data by exploring the internal dimensions within you. That's the whole point of interdimensional, not just multidimensional. But yeah, we're able to enter into dimensional planes of information through each one of our chakra bodies. So if we're perceiving our experiences through which one of our chakra bodies are most active at that point in time, it ends up becoming a portal or a holographic projection that begins to extend and branch far beyond the human field. Yeah, anyway. We can tune into different versions of ourselves. So when we talk about like 5D or gamma, that's about anchoring the higher self throughout the entire organism or form. That's where you bring 5D consciousness, which is not a location, but a state of awareness, the state of consciousness, that you can anchor into alpha, or the third dimension, or this carbon-based life form, and you become the physical form of your higher self, right? You become your higher self in physical form. And that's simply by saying, okay, remembering I transcend space-time, right? You transcend past the fourth dimension, you go into gamma, fifth dimension, and then you can anchor in higher levels of awareness from this plane, which is just an octave within you, into this system. So how would my higher self bleed into my relationships, my family, my purpose, my career? What would be the expression of my higher self? How would my higher self have this relationship to this area of my life in the third dimension? So that's how you access these octaves. It's like interstellar travel, essentially, right? I think there was another question. Did you experience the vibrations of any portals that were in 𝓬𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓬? Because I lived on the property line of the national ruins, and my first time I experienced him like 4 times a day. Yeah, actually, I just recorded the 𝓬𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓬 video the other day. I still need to go through and edit it and bring up those illustrations, but 𝓬𝓻𝓪𝓷𝓬 was very, very interesting. It no longer was like a space I was moving through, but it was literally a field of memories. So I dive deep into that teaching, and I speak a lot about why lower dimensional beings cannot see higher dimensional beings, but high dimensional beings can see lower dimensional beings. And I was seeing multiple lifetimes play out of being the oppressed and being the oppressor. And, you know, I had loads of dreams there and a lot of memories that were surfacing. I was moving through that. It was very, very interesting. Okay, it was many parallels existing simultaneously and tuning into those fields. It was very, very interesting. So I had the privilege of being able to walk through that land in this lifetime and anchor safety into the body that hadn't been experienced in all of these other expressions, essentially, and incarnations I had. So it was very, very beautiful, and that's integration. Interdimensionality, yes. Hello from New Mexico. Hold up, I think there was a question earlier. I'm trying to scroll up the chat. Scorpio is my first out of second of my 4th house too, but the full moon hit my 3rd. What? Full moon hit the 3rd house. Is that what you're referring to? I mean, yeah, if that's what you're saying, the full moon hit your 3rd, is transiting your 3rd, then that's going to bring up combination themes for you around communication. It could be things that you've studied and that you're learning. It may be a combination point when it comes to you know, endings or rebirth in your local neighborhood, maybe local travel, anything to do with like communication in the vocal box, things that you're kind of exploring or communicating, knowledge that you're sharing. Another time. Could you speak on manifesting perfect mental and physical health? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of mechanics to that. It's a very deep topic, so that will probably be on the list for transcendent teachings that we dive deep into, because that's the second one that someone spoke on for physical health. If we're talking about like clearing elements and understanding how they manifest, it doesn't just manifest in the physical at first. The physical is the last thing to happen in every area of our life, whether that be in, you know, lower dimensional expressions or higher dimensional expressions, in things that we want to manifest in this realm, or things that do manifest in this realm, consciously or unconsciously. The physical is the last thing to happen. There's a lot that happens before that in regards to thoughts. So yeah, it's almost like a reverse engineering energy. Do you believe that we can create our own destiny through manifestation? Yeah, of course. Manifestation is simply the collapse of a thought into form, right? So it's about thing that you are desiring or intending or visualizing and feeling very strongly about, that creates a biological charge. But the action is what collapses it into form. An intention is kinetic energy, but when it's supported with action, it creates this velocity and this momentum. And then it's when you actually choose to pursue it in the physical realm. And usually it is a desire on a soul level, if we're talking about that. And then supporting that desire with the way that we apply ourselves in the physical realm, which would be the union between the divine feminine within and the divine masculine within. And we begin to anchor that. That is creation. That's mastery over matter. That's the triad and how the system works. It's from mind into matrix. So actually the question would be, are you taking action to support that intention that you want to see translate into a physical experience, right? How congruent is that action? And then also, what is your state of being when you're taking that action? Do you remember that it has already happened and you're now witnessing the becoming of something that has already come to be? Are you in a state of coherence when you're taking that action? Or are you just acting unconsciously from a place of survival? Okay, guys. Mount Shasta has been very interesting. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear any of your guys' experiences that's been there. For sure. Because I've been seeing that come up a lot. I believe on it's one of the main chakras on Gaia as well, from what I've been diving into. Okay. Hi, Steve. All right, let's go ahead and bring up a familiar face, but also a new face probably. Hello. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you all good.
Greetings.
Greetings. How are you doing on this full moon?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. I recognize your name. I know that you always have some beautiful insights on the community page, so I look forward to see you.
Wonderful. There's a lag on the video, so I think it's on my part.
Oh, really? Is everyone else in the chat okay? I can see you fine and hear you okay. Is there a lag on my side?
Your side is good. I think I'm just having a lag.
I can see you fine. Maybe it's just on.
Oh, I think it's good. Oh.
Lee said that we're both A-okay, so.
Okay. Well, Mount Shasta, I climbed Mount Shasta a couple of years back, and the city of Telos and the frequency of that place is certainly a worthwhile journey to any spiritual seeker or anyone interested in experiencing that frequency of Mount Shasta. I highly recommend it.
I've heard that it has links to the root on Gaia and the root chakra. Is there anything that you remember specifically surfacing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It has an ancient connection with South Indian Tiruvannamala enlightened masters, particularly the master Ramana Maharshi, who said that Tiruvannamala, that mountain of fire, the mountain of Shiva, is directly correlated and equivalent in spiritual majesty and mysticism with Mount Shasta. So as far as a chakra point on Gaia, absolutely. How are you feeling tonight,
Yeah.
Gabriella?
Thank you. I'm feeling good. There's a lot that came through there, so I'll integrate that in my own time. But yeah, I definitely see that. Definitely a large center of primordial life force, like a lot of ancestral memories, a lot that's been repressed and suppressed. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, the full moon is very fascinating. It's very powerful, explorative, investigative, and internal. So it's interesting to engage with the external world, sustaining that level of awareness. And I feel a lot of us are observing that during this time. What about you?
I feel intuitively that there is a potential frequency available to all collective beings and souls on planet Earth right now, particularly in the month of May, in regards to the full moon. My advice would be to write out like 3 or 4 or 5 things that you feel is absolutely impossible for you. And then just sit with the energy within the full moon and intend for those blockages and that limitation which you have placed on yourself to be melted down and removed. What is impossible has already been done by so many masters before that the possibility is available for any soul who can attune themselves to the frequency of possibility. So that would be my advice in this full moon. What I'm feeling is that the impossible is becoming possible for those who have the audacity to dream big, to visualize big, to feel big. And the love you are talking about in this video right now, I am very much so resonating with that energy. It's so auspicious and beautiful and available for all right now. So absolutely.
I feel that very heavily, because when we talk about the energy of the divine feminine, it is allowing yourself to embark on that internal navigation where you have the invitation internally right now to explore what those coordinates within space-time and this reality that we're immersed in look like and feel like. Can we visually take ourselves into that frame, this slot within space-time, and surf through the illusion of time and leverage as a quantum being? It's all about sending our consciousness beyond the anatomical third-dimensional body. So that's what we speak about alpha. We go into the realm of beta, which is 4D, right? That's where we are able to tune into the time dimension and place ourselves into these impossible scenarios or outcomes. It's very much feminine. It's very much exploration, or remembering that you are not defined by what you may be currently experiencing within this coordinate. You're not limited or bound to it. It's a temporal moment for the eternal being, and it's also necessary. You're always experiencing what's in benefit for your soul's evolution, and you're essentially being prepared to evolve into the version of self that is actually going to be in resonance and in alignment with these experiences being drawn to you because of the version of self that you're anchoring yourself to be and become. Does that make sense? It's very much a collapsing time right now. Yeah, I would say that. I would say like 5 impossible things with the realm of 5. 5 impossible things or improbable things from what you've experienced within your local universe. Is there anything else that, because I feel like that was a really good one.
I think that's it. I don't want to take up much time.
Okay, well, you're welcome anytime. Thank you for bringing that forward. It's definitely a really beautiful practice to implement and ground. So
thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
You're a great inspiration.
Insight. Thank you. And you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. 5 things. Could you dream up the impossible? Because when you imagine, you're receiving a preview of life's upcomings. Can you feel into that frame vibrationally? What would it feel like? Can you visually take yourself there? What would it look like? Can you arrive there vibrationally before your arrival in the physical? And then anchor back those insights and that feeling into the present moment. And you've just become a vibrational match to the version of self that's already experiencing that version of reality. Thank you so much. Lori Lane, have been in resonance all day. No, thanks TT and presence. We are all one. Quantum wave theory. Thank you so much, my love. That's deeply appreciated. May the energy that you send out return to you tenfold. I did not know that we could do that on the chat. We could put this on the screen. That's the first time I'm learning that. Yeah, we have that energy being activated for sure. I know over the next, well, this whole month, we have a lot of energies that we're going to see come to the surface within us. I'm not even going to repeat or say too much now. It's not even needed. It will arrive at the time that it's supposed to. Yeah, let's go ahead and get another message for that. Let's take a look at what Aisha said. Let's get some advice for that. Let's use the Star Child message deck. Ether meeting matter, which is literally what this whole message has been about, right? So that's the masculine, how you physically apply yourself and how you structure that vision. And then actually allowing yourself to visualize, allow yourself to imagine, allow yourself to dive deep into those inner realms. And it's another dolphin energy. It's number 1 of the dolphins. Let me go ahead and bring up the keywords. And then are you guys down to do a meditation? We could do a meditation today for sure. Thank you, Steve. You're deeply appreciated. Let me get you. Oof, magic. I love that I can bring things up on the screen. Thank you so much. May the energy that you send out return to you tenfold. You're always deeply appreciated. We love to see you. You've been here a long time along the ride. So thank you for all the work that you're doing behind the scenes. You're deeply appreciated. Thank you so much. All right, let's go ahead and get Steve. No, I don't know what I'm doing. Wait, no, I'm doing too many. Okay, so ether and matter is spiritualized matter. Okay, new life, sparkles and basking in the light. And you know what? One of the readings I just did before this, for a personal read, I was talking a lot about the Virgo and Pisces axis, which is where the nodal aspects are right now. And it's about making the practical things spiritual and the spiritual things practical. How can we be present in everything that we are doing, right? So if you're sitting down, and we say this all the time, right? If you're cleaning, then see yourself clearing energy. If you're sitting down for a meal, allow all of yourself to be present and fuse it with golden light and feel it nourishing your body and your vessel. This is really a time to get, I'm seeing acclimated with this version of self that is present and in tune and intuitive and trusting of themselves. So new life, sparkles and basking in the light, holistic integration, light and density. You're a light being experiencing yourself in the realm of density and traveling through dimensions of non-judgment. This is about inner child attunement. I am ether in matter, and I am matter in ether. I am one with all. The dance between ether and matter tells us about bringing heaven on earth. Even if painful moments come up in the process, we're invited to be a conduit for etheric light by receiving light blessings in the physical realm. The dolphins help to weave Lemuria into existence by traveling between different dimensions of ether and matter. They carried the secrets of dimensional travel that the dolphins master. They bring sacred codes from the cosmic heart of source and deliver them to the physical realms simply by being in complete flow. So this is also something in which you're doing, right? You are also carrying these codes and rippling these codes outwards simply by being. If you recognize and remember that you're in a, or when you recognize and remember that you're always in a perfect state of just being, your value doesn't come in doing. You get to experience the doing while being present with yourself. It's like, can you remember yourself as spirit navigating the physical material plane? That's really what this is. It's the interface. You are an interface between realms. The sacred code that the dolphins share from your heart, from their heart to yours, helps you to let go of the conceptions and ideals of the old paradigm. Do you feel the need to be perfectly balanced between ether and matter, between spirituality and grounding? Let go of the linear mind and find your playfulness to master the dolphin code of ether and matter. So it talks about the old earth that you felt anchored into when it comes to the old paradigm. You don't need to be grounded in ways that limit your movement. Now you're finding your ground within through weaving your highest truth into a multifarious experiences on earth, like the dolphin weaving their path in the ocean. So it's very much that. I'm just seeing a vortex that pretty much alchemizes any belief systems in regards to the how or the when it's going to happen, and allow yourself to travel right now with the mind to where you want to go and understand your why for why you want to experience it. Focus on the what and the why, and allow matter to reveal to you the where and the how it unfolds. That is the co-creation. Entertain it beyond the mind's limitations. Feel into it and see it anyway. Explore it. You have the ability to arrive there before you arrive on the physical. Invite this one with all of its aspects to come home now, all right? So new life is a result of this interplay between dimensions, this cosmic flow. Doesn't it feel heavy to create a new project with much effort or stress? The dolphins tell you that your greatest creations were made in the flow of oneness, play, and joy. Can you attune to this play between ether and matter? Or do you feel stuck because you can't see beyond the physical realms? Do you feel stuck because you cannot see beyond the physical prison of the mind? See, the mind can be a prison, it can be a circus, it can be a lattice, it can be a garden, it can be anything that we want it to be. And the universe is abundant, but the only lack that exists is within the mind. We must go beyond third dimensional ways of thinking, which is what it is that we're perceiving to be the current set of circumstances in which we're experiencing. That is the box, that is the prisoner. But you see, a fourth dimensional being can understand that that box is like a cube, right? The matrix. And it can actually step up outside of the box and experience the totality of other points in time. It can imagine itself at a beach and it's at the beach, right? So you can take yourself there before the physical. See, the mind, and even when you ask prisoners, how did you pass the time, right? Mentally, they weren't there. They were off daydreaming elsewhere. It's like there's something, and it's not about becoming like a space cadet in the way where you're not taking any action to support that vision, but many of us don't allow us to tune into the feminine. It's like the linear logical mind doesn't allow the exploration of play because we see it as fantasy. But again, it's something in which we are leaning into so that we can first romanticize our life again, but then also normalize what it is that we're romanticizing and understand that is readily available for us to experience. All right. So yeah, if you feel stuck in the physical reality, allow a Pleiadian dolphin to assist you. It shows you the light of your true self, a powerful and loving truth that can penetrate through illusions of the mind. Ask the Pleiadians to initiate you into a new life paradigm that transforms your life. So non-judgment, that's what this stems from. Please value your life story, not as a poor old me, but the story of awakening and of victory. Your story is the story of ether, energy of the finest of fine, coming into matter, the densest of dense. Your story shows you how far you've come, and it's also an example to others who are awakening. Yeah, beautiful. All right, we will probably head out. Oh, time has passed by, hasn't it? We'll probably head out soon. Is there any other questions that anyone has? Or anyone else that may want to hop up on here? Experiences frequencies, your physical body has to go through an emptying in order to be able to handle frequencies above the third dimension. Yeah, I suppose, and in many ways, the third dimension also holds all frequencies already within it. It's a multi-dimensional plane. So we actually are able to ground and anchor higher dimensions, which are just higher thoughts, higher states of awareness. The whole point of 3D is that we have contrast in this realm. We have literally stark contrast. So we can experience fear and love. That's often what it comes down to. That's always the fundamental of it. We can experience limits just to experience remembering ourselves as limitless. So there's certain universal laws that we're abiding by in the third dimensional construct. One of them is moments in time. We're experiencing an incremental journey here. I'll be driving to Mount Shasta for a 4-day retreat in July. Oh, have fun. I hope that you have a wonderful time. I trust that whatever will be unveiled to you along that journey will meet you gracefully. So yeah, embrace that experience. That's beautiful. Together we will live forever. Thank you so much, kid. Cogniti again. Thank you so much. May the energy that you send out return to you tenfold. You're deeply appreciated. Just seeing if anyone missed any comments. All right, let's go ahead and close out with a oracle message. I believe that Mount Shasta in its highest octave, okay, if you have a regulated root, then you will experience it not how it is, but how you are. The energies of the earth are always neutral. It's our filter that overlays, that can distort the way that we experience the energy in that localized portal. But the portal will always reveal what is happening within our own internal world. So in the highest octave of the root, it's for us to be present in the body, secure and stable. It's the thing that anchors us into this incarnation, that grounds us. If we open up our higher vision and are grounded in the body, then we can discern and see the construct clearly while being immersed inside of it. That's what its highest octave will be. Right, we have 2 cards that came through. One of them, or 3 of them actually. What do I need to do to be able to enjoy my garden, right? So what do you need to do? And I see this is the garden of your own mind. Okay, what thoughts are going to be more conducive for you during this time? You also have, do I recognize the beauty of where I am? Can we take a moment of appreciation for you remembered yourself inside of this construct? The desire to remember yourself is a destiny all on its own. It leads you to a destined intersection where a whole new realm and world of possibilities opens up for you in the application of your free will. You get to actually make conscious choices inside of the system. That's where you reprogram your internal matrix and you develop a different kind of relationship with the matrix or universe that we have programmed to experience ourselves within. And there is beauty within the system. So much beauty. So do you recognize the beauty of where you are, first of all, and remembering yourself? That's the first biggest day. And the second one is when you remember why, right? Destiny is also something in which we program so that we don't fall into nihilism within this construct. It brings us a sense of purpose that drives us and guides us and directs us. But it's how we drive, guide, and direct ourselves as a force of creation. As a result of creation. And what creations flow through us as an extension of us. We get to experience birthing things in this realm. That doesn't happen in higher planes. Everything exists simultaneously. You don't experience the conception, the nurturing, the growth of something. You don't experience having something as a seed and then one day sitting under the shade of the tree that you just planted that started as a seed. We get to experience that here. Then the third card is, do I use time for contemplation? Really contemplate, deeply ponder within your own internal world. I feel you, Lotus Minds. I would join you, but I'm in bed. I'm not do that right now. So yeah, I feel you. It's very much Scorpio full moon vibes. I mean, we're probably gonna hop on, not today, but a bit more often now that I've got caught up with this list. But yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, how are you beginning to organize and reassemble your life around your mission now that you remembered who you are? And don't doubt yourself and what it is that you're here to do. See, when you're clear on what your intention is, and the intention can be anything that you created to be in this realm, that intention is something that anchors you. We feel anxiety or fear in our body when we don't know why we're here. If you know why you're here, what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to create, what it is that you want to anchor into this system, I'm hearing how your creations will continue to ripple on and outlive you, the impact in which you're here to have, what it is that you're weaving into this construct, what it is that weaves and moves its way through you and seamlessly blends itself into the tapestry of this creation is part of it. Your life is a tapestry. You don't see it when it's up close, right? It's only when you step back, you can see the full totality and appreciate the intricate design that always was you. You're not here by accident. You're floating on a rock in space, like, you know, you're not here by accident. It's like a very intelligent, self-organized system that we've all created. So admire that for a moment. Admire the impossibility that was made possible. And that's you. So I hope that you all have a wonderful evening. Just change collapse into ground into. Ground into space-time, anchor into space-time, collapse into space-time. The reason we say collapse is because the wave form, the light wave, collapses when it's observed. You can say ground, you can say anchor. But being, thank you guys, thank you so much. I'm here to get through life and make aware others that mankind must fashion a new plane, that our offspring can be less uncomfortable than our own. Yeah. I mean, the work that each and every one of you is doing is essentially making the path easier to walk. For those that move through the system and evolve into the system next. And it already has. It is, and the story did go like that. We're just experiencing the journey. Hi Mo, good to see you. Mo, I'll drop a link if you want to hop in here. I was going to message you that I was going live the second time this evening, but I didn't know if you were awake because it was like 7 when I hopped on here, I think on your time. But if you want to hop on here, you're very welcome. Otherwise, I was going to potentially do a meditation if you guys want to do meditation, or just, I don't really have a game plan for this one. I was just coming on to connect with you guys. All right, we'll go ahead and get another. We'll get a gateway of the light activation message. We haven't got one of these yet. Of course we do. Memories of Atlantis came through, right? So we all know what that is. And then we have star gathering, which is saying that we all have been drawn in through parallel lives that we've had in this civilization. Civilizations rise and fall. But the stars have gathered, right? Remembering home and soul family. This is spiritual acceleration. It's coming back into coherence, right? This communal hub or communication hub in which we found ourselves restores electrical communication and brings us all back into a state of coherence. And I trust that was when we move through our day and we move through our astral explorations, we're able to sustain and carry that ongoing state of awareness with us. That we don't leave ourselves, and every time we do, to gently reconnect and come back to ourselves again and again. Perhaps we'll do a meditation then, and then we'll close out just to ground and come back into the heart space. Mo will hop on here and we'll see what's up. Okay. Right. How are we feeling? Are we ready to jump into meditation or just run energy? There's a whole bunch of suffering unnecessarily. Yeah. Essentially, there's self-created cycles of suffering, right? That the human can choose to keep themselves in. Yes, we are alive. Every time stars gather, the energy rises. I mean, there's some kind of Atlantean energy coming through for sure with the star gathering. Like, again, I think the title of this live is You're Here for a Reason, or something like this, or This Found You for a Reason. Yeah, we all share many parallel lives where we are coming back into the heart space, where we are tuning more into that divine feminine in a way that was previously neglected. All right, let's go ahead and do, I guess, quicker meditation, and then we'll see what's going on. So, family of light, I invite for you guys to come back to yourself and just gently close your eyes and return to your breath, return to your body. Just take a deep breath in. Feel that breath traveling all the way down to the base of your spine. And exhale. And on the exhale, feel yourself becoming lighter and lighter. And with each breath in you take, feel all of your energy and life force and awareness that has been suspended in timelines, consciously or unconscious, traveling back to you now, returning back to you now. You can see it glowing like golden life force or a color of your choosing. See it all returning back to you. Anything that's been scattered within the system, any imbalanced exchanges that you've had. And see it coming back to your heart space. And as this energy travels back to your heart space, you can feel this vortice inside of yourself. It's a sphere. So the energy goes up, it cycles outwards, and it folds back into itself in this dome portal. And you can feel it spinning faster and faster, glowing brighter and brighter. You can even place your hands on your heart. And just ground down to the center of the earth. You're going to have a grounding cord. It can be like an umbilical cord or a tree trunk or whatever feels most in resonance with you. It's the whole circumference of your body. The higher up your grounding cord goes, the more connected you'll feel. See that traveling all the way down into the core of Gaia. Feel the earth's rhythm beneath you. Feel her breath moving through you as your breath moves through her, and you breathe as one. Focus on the beat of your heart and the rhythm of the earth that expresses itself through you. Remember yourself as an extension, an expression, and a manifestation of the earth. This avatar that you're seated within is a product of the earth. Within you, you contain all memories, a field, a database, the Akashic records that stores a living memory of all organisms, all extensions of the earth that have walked and roamed upon this planet. Eternal beings that have had temporal moments in many avatars that have always returned back to the earth. She provides these vessels. She provides these divinely attuned instruments that are designed to support our eternal intentions for what it is that we choose to experience through this incarnation and all those that run parallel. Remember that you branch and extend far beyond this system. This is one of infinite constructs that you navigate. Now tune into your root chakra and feel that vortice within you spinning, unobstructed, and just spin it until it's crystalline clear. You can still see it with the red hue, but just ensure that there's no blockages or tears. Remember that your internal vortice and root sphere extends and branches far beyond your human vessel. So you should be seated inside of a dome root sphere. And you can just scan that sphere, scan above it. This is already around you. Do you remember that? It's already there. All that's happening is that you're now becoming aware of it. You're now directing your awareness to it, and you're becoming conscious of it. Any areas that you may feel in the front, on the side, below you, above you, that you can't see, just focus on them more. It's just revealing any repressed or suppressed parts that are waiting to be acknowledged. The front is going to be the masculine, and so is the right side. This is your relationship with the physical realm, your relationship with being able to ground things, anchor things, create structure, feel safe and secure within this realm. Scan the back and left side of your body, above and below. This is going to be the feminine. This is soul navigating the form. Any debris that you find in your field, you can send down your grounding cord to the center of the earth and feel that vortice spinning around you. Bring up this healing life force from the center of the earth up your grounding cord. It can be green or gold or a color of your choice that's assisting you with this frequency that you're moving through. And allow it to travel up your grounding cord, up your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your pelvis, your abdomen, your chest, traveling down your shoulders, your arms, your fingers, your neck, your face, the crown of your head, and spin that energy at your center core, in your solar plexus. Feel that energy filling each one of your chakra systems, each vortice, directing that healing energy to any part of the body that may need it most in this moment. You can feel the pulse of Mother Earth moving through you. And now we're going to anchor in source energy, this golden light rippling from the cosmos. This is the powerful light that anchors you into this incarnation. You can feel it moving through your source cord, entering into your crown, your head, your neck, your shoulders, running down your arms, your chest, spinning at your center core, moving through your abdomen, down your legs, running down your calves, your feet, and sending that down your grounding cord to the center of the earth, infusing Gaia with source's love, with unity, healing the earth, remembering yourself as a conduit, and blend those energies at your center core, spinning them in your solar plexus faster and faster, infusing ether with matter. And just scan each one of your chakra bodies. Just make sure that each portal, each dome around you is clear and unobstructed. You can scan your sacral chakra. Spinning it faster and faster. This can be as easy or hard as you want it to be. You can clear any debris or distortions. You might want to work with a fire element or a water element. You can even just sit back and observe the higher intelligence within you that can have this happen instantly. In fact, it's already happened and you're just witnessing it unfold before you. And now that you're back with yourself, and you remembered yourself in this incarnation, which is a huge accomplishment, may I say. Not many do. Many of us cycle through many incarnations to get to this point of remembrance. What would you like to do moving forward? See yourself standing before a portal. And whatever's on the other side of this portal is what you imagine it to be. I want you to just feel into an experience that seems perhaps impossible. That's quite the point. Don't worry about the logical mind or the linear mind, wondering of the how and the when it's going to unfold. Just focus on arriving in an experience that you dream to be immersed in. You're in the realm of play, the realm of creation. If you don't know what it looks like, you can feel into what it looks like. It may not even be totally clear of how it manifests in the material realm. It may not be a specific desire, but an experience of feeling or sensation that you're desiring to be one with once again. And this field that you're traveling through, the realm that you're moving through, is a memory. I want you to see the version of yourself that is already living out this version of reality or this experience. What do they look like? You, but maybe different. Connected with themselves. Do they trust themselves? Are they present? Do they move through life remembering whom they are? Are they grounded, confident, anchored, disciplined? I want you to observe and study them. See that version of you taking you by the hand and beckoning for you to learn more, to experience more of what the realm of experiences that they're living looks like. See you stepping into this version of self. It's the moment where you merge and become one. Try on this version of self. Does it feel safe? Bring that feeling into your body. Is it peace? Is it harmony? Is it deep connection, self-trust, abundance? Unconditional love, and interconnectedness to all things. Authenticity. And feel yourself traveling back in time. As this version of self, seated where you are now. And keep those same sensations in your body. Anchor that same feeling in your body, that same vision. Feel yourself grounded to the earth and anchored into source. Feel your heart vortices spinning, all your chakra centers spinning, your root, your sacral, your solar, your throat, your third eye, your crown. Remote view yourself seated here, laying here from an aerial perspective. And just observe anything within your auric field that needs to shift, anything that's imbalanced, any belief systems that need to be cleared. This is an intelligent self-organizing system, down to every degree, down to every octave and oscillation. Just witness the body rearranging itself. And be seated back in your body. Feel your field moving around you. And you can open your eyes when you're ready. And keep that connection with yourself. See yourself clearly. And I hope that you received whatever you needed to from that meditation. I had a split of timelines of if we wanted to do some deeper DNA reprogramming, or if to tune into the quantum field in high octaves, and also reveal what could be holding us back. What does it look like when we don't have those things that anchor us into our old timelines? So yeah, I look forward to seeing what you guys may share in the comment section. We're gonna go ahead and bring Mo up here though. He's in backstage. So, hi, what's good? How are you doing?
Yo, what's happening? What's the good word?
It's good. Happy full moon.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Y'all right. Y'all still in the thick of it. Hold on, yeah. The moon's still cracking. It's morning time over here. We got the sun up, but I'm still feeling the moon vibes, and it's all good.
Yeah, that's gonna keep traveling for the next couple of days. We're gonna feel that quite a few days after. It's morning side on for you, isn't it? Not even 9 a.m., something like that.
Yeah. It's almost 9 a.m. 8:51.
Okay, I was gonna message you that I was gonna go live later in the evening, but it was a last minute thing, and I thought maybe you're still sleeping because it was quite early. But I'm glad you're here with me.
For sure. I was just on YouTube. You know what I mean? I'm a YouTube head, so I was just kind of scrolling through, and I saw you live. I'm like, let me hop in there real quick.
Yeah.
Tap in with the family. You feel me?
I'm glad. Is there anything that you want to talk about today? I know we'll hop on live and do a session another day as well, but is there anything that you want to touch base on?
No, nothing in particular. I just wanted to come in, just kind of provide some encouragement for everybody that's, made it to this other side of this shift, and these different placements, and I just want to commend anybody that's here. I'm sure that you guys have done the work in order to not only be privileged enough to feel the shift, but to actually process it and being in full participation with it. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they brought something to my attention that was like profound. I never heard it before, because this was the first time I ever heard it in this sort of light. She was talking about like shift and how we're feeling it. She said it's a privilege to actually feel this shift, because in order for you to feel the shift, you have had to done the actual work and been conscious and aware of your own soul's development and your evolution to actually feel the shift. Because there's many people in this world that's not necessarily feeling the things that we're feeling in terms of this new, I would say, evolution that we're moving into. So I was like, damn, that's true. So it's like, if you haven't necessarily, in other words, if you hadn't did the work, you wouldn't necessarily be eligible to actually experience this next wave of life that we're moving into. And that's okay. But it's a privilege, because those people who have done the work, we're literally the ones that's going to be the way showers and the example for those people who are eventually going to get on that stage of development as well.
Yeah, 100%. I feel that it's incremental journey where we get to actually admire and have data for the different stages in which we've moved through. So it's beautiful to see that unfold within us, like these different layers that we're uncovering when it comes to what our potential looks like and how we are changing and evolving the way that we see ourselves in this realm. And that's changing and evolving what it is that we are feeling capable of being able to experience in this realm as well, and actually being able to access to. So yeah, that's really, really beautiful with how you articulated that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. As far as no, I'm feeling a lot lighter for sure. I say towards the end of last week. What is this today? Saturday. I'd say around Tuesday is when I felt like like even in my chest, it was like, it was one point I was just chilling in my room and I felt like I was having a panic attack. So I literally got up and I just went out and just like sat by the river. No, what's funny? I left my room, right? And I tried to do some breathing and stuff. And I was like, it was hard to like breathe, but I was like, I realized that it was like the shift was actually occurring inside, and it was so much of it that, I really had to get up. I just couldn't keep laying here, so I had to get up and go breathe. So the first thing I did was, I got on my bike and I just rode around because I wanted to go to the lake, which I did, but my spirit was like, go to the bank. I literally went in the bank. Like we got a bank out here and it's like, it's a beautiful bank. I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the surface is impeccable and the vibrations in there are so high. So I went in this bank because it was already like 200 degrees out here. So I went in the bank, the air conditioner was hitting, and I actually calmed down while I was in the bank. Like, it's crazy. I'm sitting in the bank and just kind of just felt relieved and just kind of meditating. And I didn't take a ticket or nothing because normally you got to take a ticket. So I just went and sat in the lobby and was just sitting there and then I went to the lake and then I sat down and just put my hands in the grass and then eventually the energy that was flowing through me, I was able to kind of like transmute that energy and put it back into the earth. And then I started to feel better. But yeah, Tuesday was cracking. It was really, really intense. But I felt better ever since.
I'm trying to think astrologically what was happening on Tuesday, but I know we had a lot of build up and we had a lot of squares going on during that time. So it was even tension, I think, collectively, because I know during that time as well, it was really a time to get back into your body. And it's interesting how your intuition guided you in that process of what that looked like. And it wouldn't make sense to the logical mind when it comes to you. This is just what I need to do in this moment. And you don't know what awaits you in that experience, but you're still open to those possibilities and what those timelines look like. And it was by you kind of leaning into the unknown of how that would unfold that it actually brought you home to yourself. So it's trusting yourself. I feel like that's like a huge message all on its own, like being able to trust that there is a higher intelligent being in which you are that is navigating this construct. And almost like you said that again, it was a space of higher elevation or higher vibration that you were able to attune and harmonize back with. And it kind of brought you back into a state of coherence. And it sounds like a paradox or ironic because it was in a place like the bank. Like people wouldn't typically think that, right? They wouldn't think, oh, go there. But it's like there is almost like nodes or points in the matrix where your avatar can harmonize with those points. And I'm kind of seeing that as something that happened like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have never expected that. It's just funny how like I was led there and it was like, go in the bank, just go in the bank. I'm just like, what? Just go in the bank. I was like, all right, bet. So and it felt good too, because it's like, yeah, I just followed my heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm not second guessing nothing right now. When my spirit is telling me something that feels right, or it just feels like the right thing to 100% like the right thing to do, I'm just moving on it. I'm just not second guessing. I think that's one of the things I struggled with over these years. It's just, I don't want to say second guessing things, but just over analyzing things and just overthinking things. And that's something that I've literally been beginning to now, like just kind of like, stop overthinking, man. Just just keep moving forward, just keep moving forward, and knowing that everything that you need is going to be at that next stage of the steps that you take. So it's really about just constantly moving forward and always picking yourself back up. It's nothing perfect about this journey. It gets really ugly at times. And one thing I'm proud of myself is I didn't show up in this world like I showed up exactly how I was in that moment. Sometimes like the beard was nappy, the beard was long, I had the whites was out, you know what I mean? And those times I was just in grind mode. I didn't care how I looked. You know what I mean? I was just like, yeah, what up, man? I'm going through it right now. I was very honest and vulnerable to people about where I was currently at in my growth and development. It was more so just about, it wasn't about trying to appear to be that you have it all together during this time period. It was more so just like, how authentic and real can you be, and how genuine can you be? How can you just show up fucked up and accept it? Like, hey man, I'm fucked up right now, man. It is what it is. All right, cool. You go judge me? All right, that's on you. Can you hold compassion for me at this moment? Great. And if you can't, that's up to that individual's stage in development and evolution. And somehow I felt like I've been the catalyst for that. Just really showing it raw and just myself in these environments. And working through it and then cleaning myself up along the way. So it was just like, dang, okay. I allowed myself to go down to the valley, get my hands dirty, go in the woods and really work out my my kinks and purge out certain things in real time without having to just run from it and isolate myself so much. I just continued to show up. Continue to show up. And just some click, it's just like, damn, you know how much richness you have to have within yourself and true divine spiritual wealth to show up every single day when you really don't feel like it, when shit ain't going your way, when nobody's noticing you, when nobody's applauding, and you just literally got to wake up every day and do everything enriching for yourself, and knowing that your personal enrichment is going to literally uplift people around you just by being brave. That's the real wealth. Everything that got you to that stage is the real wealth. The bravery, the compassion, the love for self, the ability to still meditate, the ability to still trust when things look fucked up, and still be able to show up and still be like, you know what, what's up, baby, and still show love. That's the real wealth. There's no dollar amount that can actually account for that. Like the money is 100% of the consequences of you already being and doing these things. That's the real wealth, the inner stuff, and it's real. So anybody that's waking up every day feeling like shit and you still get to it, kudos to you, because it was never supposed to be easy on this path. It was always meant for you to be able to face these challenges and still show the fuck up every time. That's the point.
Yeah, 100%. Like, round of applause for that, first of all.
You feel me?
That's what it is. Like, that is in truth. And I know that we kind of touched on that behind the scenes as well when we spoke, but it's very much cyclical cycles that we're honoring when it comes to, okay, there's times of being introspective and checking with yourself, but also there's the masculine of, are you actually showing up for not just yourself, but when you show up, you're also remembering that in that state of coherence, you're connected and showing up and remembering that you know this is beyond you are connected to a larger system that you're also playing a part of within the collective. And so when you show up, it's like you may not show up great, but often you end up leaving way better than you showed up feeling. And it's easy to show up for yourself, even in ways of like meditating, and it's easy to show up meditating on days where you feel good and you check in with yourself. But on the days in which you don't feel so high and dandy, those are the days especially that you need to show up for yourself and check in with yourself more than ever, and also those around you, because those are collective shifts that you're also picking up on there as well. So it's very much that there's heavy energy and harsh energy as well that was moving through. And those are days where I'm not sitting in meditation just when I wake up and I go to sleep. I was meditating like 3 or 4 days, like having 2 check-in days during the day where I'm like, I just need to check back in with myself. I need to ground. I need to regulate myself. I need to remember why I'm on this planet, why we're immersed in this experience and what it is that we're doing. And that level of regulation that helps you see yourself clearly, and you can move through this construct clearly as well. It's like, it's a time to connect with yourself and be unconditionally loving with yourself at every octave, as every expression, every emotion, every thought that runs through you, holding space for yourself as you go through those processes. That's what this experience is for and is about.
1,000,000%. That's 1,000,000%. 100%. I couldn't agree more. Like, that's, yeah, it's beautiful. Like, when you can really just have the capacity, like, God, damn, you look back, like, damn, I had the capacity to go through that. I was able to overcome that, you know what I'm saying? And really just, like you say, checking with yourself. Cause like, this time it's been like, you know, going deep. You got to go deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, go deep for your blessings, man. Don't be afraid to go deep for it, because that's where everything is.
That was really beautiful. Yeah, that was really, that is so real. It's so real to move through the system, remembering that you are anchored into it while being connected to beyond it. Essentially, you branch and extend far beyond the system, and that's the very thing that keeps you anchored into it. Again, it's like, you don't have to wait for a moment in order to find peace. If you can anchor peace and know how to return back to harmonic order and bring your system, your nervous system, your body, your vessel back into harmonic order, no matter what's moving through it or through the world around you, then you've just won. Like, you have just cultivated this self-organizing and regenerating system within yourself. You are a filtration system.
Exactly. And that's exactly where the growth is. Every time you come back, every time you come back, and there's times where it's like, I feel like I've hit certain stages in the past couple of weeks. I'm like, I don't know if I can come back from this shit. It felt like that, like, damn, man, this is like, and somehow I can keep coming back, and I just keep going, and I just, you know, I'm better. Like, God damn, I got stronger, you know what I'm saying? And you know, and I got stronger, you know what I mean? He's got to keep, he's got to keep coming back, man. You just can't give up, man. That's what it really boils down to, for real.
And that's how this matrix is designed, right? It's like this spherical system where we go in and out, where we go, you know, even unconscious and then wake up. We're always experiencing this contrast. But I was saying this earlier, I feel like in the last live where I went live earlier, and I was saying, every time you kind of lose or forget yourself or become deeply immersed in the system and become entangled and then detangle yourself and come back, you come back stronger. It's like the wave goes out, it hits an obstacle or boundary, and then it comes back amplified. Like, you are more connected to yourself through each trial and tribulation. Like, that contraction is the very thing that bursts the expansion of the new you that comes back from that experience with knowledge and insights and wisdom, and then you can impart that wisdom, and that becomes a form of enlightenment, because you remember yourself as a light being that was moving through density. And if you can remember yourself as a light being while being immersed inside of the densest experiences, you find liberation. Like, introspection is the foundation of peace. Like, if you can be introspective with yourself.
Yeah. That self-awareness is everything, and being real about that is 1,000,000%. And what you're saying is about that density is like, all right, like, we have different things going on. We have our goals, and we have everything that we've set out to do for ourselves in it's right here. It's sitting in our chest. That's why we got to do the breath work. That's why we got to do the shift work, because it's like, you got to break up that energy, because it's cultivating itself within you. Not only the new things that are conceptualizing, but also the old things that's being purged out. So it's like, we got a whole heap of shit going on within us. So it's like, realizing that we have those different components, it's like, it's very important that we do the breath work, so that we understand that these things must be processed and released. Both the things that are ancestral and the new things that's being birthed within us, that we're going to be able to, you know, because they say birth is a very violent thing, you know what I'm saying? It's painful for a woman, and I give credit to all women who went through that process, when they're at the stage of like, this baby has to be released, and it's painful. And that's what we're dealing with. Not only with, like I said, the new things that's going to manifest itself and materialize itself on the earthly plane, but also the old shit that's purging out. So yeah, that's the ride. I mean, we came here to process it and alchemize ourselves to that stage, and then from there, you know, it's shit. We see what happens from here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm at this point now. It's like, all right, well, shit. What's you know, I'm in the unknown now. You know what I'm saying? It's unknown territory, and I'm cool with it.
I see that as like another analogy to play on with the birth that you were speaking about is once you do give birth, that can be the painful story that unfolds in our life or experience of remembering like everything that was necessary to get us back to this point of remembering ourselves in the system. And then once that happens and we really just make peace with the whole story of how our awakening has gone, we come home with the baby and our life isn't the same. From that point, you have like a responsibility in this realm. Once you cultivate that level of awareness and return back to it,
Yeah.
you can't unsee that. That's a different kind of relationship that you have to nurturing this thing. And I feel like that's a relationship that we have to like our own vessel and certain areas of our life in which this conduit that is us, that source will want to express itself through. And it requires that level of just rebirth, like of the old us dying so that we can be reborn. It's like we have birthed a new version of self into being, and we've been prepared like to create the nursery for ourselves in this conducive environment and this container. And that's about the thoughts that we're experiencing, the emotions that we're experiencing, so that it can be supportive for this next expansive role that we're going to essentially be anchoring into this reality. And now there's new realms of possibilities again that are opening up. What does life look like now nurturing this area? How has your relationship changed to yourself? And now how is that bleeding into every avenue in your life?
Real talk. And that's the part that we need to let go of and be in full surrender of what that look like. And just trust your work. Trust that your intentions have always been for the good. You know, just trust that and know that the universe is always going to bring back the beautiful things that you've actually thought about and cultivated and worked towards. And that's the main thing. Now we just got to trust and know that everything that you've done, it was never in vain. You know, all the tough times that were teaching you something, it never went in vain. Nothing went in vain. Everything was all being recorded for this time period and for you to actually move into that new space. And as we approach New Earth, we here now, like that great shift, you know, that the great split that, you know, 𝓤𝓪𝓻𝓻 talked about back in 2013 is here, and we're living in it. So, you know, we chose anybody that's here. I'm sure that you chose righteousness, you chose peace, harmony, love, abundance, resource, you know, accessibility, you know what I'm saying? We chose these things. So, you know, just prepare ourselves for that. And don't be afraid of who you become once you move into this new phase. Just know that, you know, everything that you need will be there to support you as we continue to experience the new that come in for us.
That's beautifully said. Yeah, that's beautifully said. That's the shift.
Yeah, we're here with it now.
This
is like lifetime. You know what I'm saying? We worked eons and lifetimes to get to this stage. So like for us to be on Earth at this time period, to witness the apex of I would say the darkness and the dawn of the original blueprint of which we've initially wanted for this place or had it in this reality is here again. So it's like now we're just kind of, we like somewhat like the cleanup crew, so to speak, like, and just, you know, preparing ourselves to be able to live at this high frequency. It's just, yeah, it's dope. And I'm grateful to be here at this time period and knowing who I am during this time period, you know.
And I see that as you know, like the whole birth experience of where it's super painful, but then when the woman goes through it, she's like, oh, it's like we block out the pain and choose to have another child. And I'm seeing that as like each incarnation where we are birthed, reborn into the system again. And it's like, yes, it's painful, but we keep choosing to return here, and we've all chosen to incarnate upon planet Earth during this time, because I almost want to say like the pros really do outweigh like what we see as the cons, and really a lot of them are just cons to the ego when it comes to releasing certain, identities. As we're reborn into an identity, it requires us to confront belief systems that are not compatible with the version of self that we're now being called to embody. And it's not kind of like releasing the old, right? It kind of it reminds you of that quote again. It's like, we do not was it that we are, it's we fear that we are powerful beyond measure. What's the quote for that one again? We fear that we are powerful beyond measure. It's got the quote of inadequate. We are not inadequate. We do not fear that we are inadequate. We fear that we are powerful beyond measure. It's very much that energy. And some of us have feared our own power and what that looks like. But again, can we expand into a version of self, and how far we allow ourselves to expand into a new reality, and the version of self that is aligned to create that reality and experience that reality before reverting back to our comfort zone. Because we no longer have the privilege of experiencing our comfort zone. What has that supplied you? Not in the way that that we may think. It supplied us the comfort of not having to feel the discomfort. But now there is discomfort in what used to be our comfort zone. And it's because so many of us have been receiving these insights and desires, which are messages from our future self of where we could be sleeping on our full potential. Like a fractal of awareness, infinite potential, whether it's aware of it or not. But once you're aware of that, you see something that you can't unsee, and you feel something that you can't unfeel within your being. So I feel like many of us are confronting within ourselves, where are we holding ourselves back? Because no one truly is.
Yeah, and that's real. I mean, even down to your day-to-days, like at this point, it's like, even yesterday, like I kind of like encourage myself. Well, I ain't gonna say force myself, but I encourage myself to do something differently. Because there was a point in time I'm like, yeah, what am I about to do right now? I'm like, yo, do something totally different that you would do normally. So it's just like, if you normally you might be comfortable going to a certain restaurant, which I am. I chose to go somewhere else. Just go somewhere else. Do something different. So every day, just do something completely different than you did yesterday, and something that's completely out of your, I would say, out of your comfort zone. Just do things that's out. We can't keep running back to the familiar if it's not necessarily something that can be, I'm not talking about like the obvious things, but I'm just saying let's just push ourselves to do things that are unfamiliar with us, so that we can start, reaping different reward. I mean, not rewards, but experiences. Different things can cultivate once you put yourself in different vibrations and different environments. So you meet different people. You might activate something else within you. So it's just like, fuck comfort right now. Comfort is is the reason why we're not developing in ways, because we're so comfortable. Not to say, I'm comfortable right now, I'm sitting on a soft ass bed, but I mean, in terms of just our thought process, our actions, and realizing that certain people is getting cut off from our lives that made us feel comfortable, because it's meant for us to operate without them now. You know what I'm saying? Because they did their part. Things are sped up in many ways in regards to that. So, it's crazy. It's kind of hard to describe, but for me, like I said earlier, life is pushing me to be certain. Just now be certain. Don't second guess nothing. Don't overthink. If that's what it is, just move forward, and then go from there.
That's something that I was talking about at the beginning of the live, where I said don't romanticize, like what we romanticize, we should start to normalize, like how we romanticize our life being in the best possible way, where we observe the version of ourselves and start because that's what's like the full moon and Scorpio energy is. It's very fixated. Like if we have been fixating on the version of ourselves who has been experiencing things not going their way, or things not working out, or not having visibility, again, no applause, then that's the version of ourselves that we're going to keep embodying, collapsing into form. And that's the version of reality that we're experiencing. But if we begin to observe the version of ourselves that is confident in what it is they're doing, they already know things have worked out for them, they are sure in themselves, they know why they're here, why they're anchored onto this earth, what it is that they're here to do, then that's the version of self that we begin to become in resonance with. Like, that's the version of self that we become entangled with and become one with, and we vibrate in alignment with. And those are the versions of reality that end up opening up. Those are the doors of opportunity. So I love what it is that you brought up, because it's very much the theme of messages that I have coming out for the aspects for the next 2 days as well. It's very much like shaking up the algorithm within your own life. Like, do something that you wouldn't typically do to signal to the universe, okay, I'm embodying a parallel version of self. And I'll give you like an example. When I was walking through Mexico City, I spoke about this in a reading that I did coming out. I was like doing things that the parallel version of me would do. So I like swapped my Apple Watch from my right hand to my left hand, and I redid the settings, and then I had to get used to it, and that's become my new normal. And I was like, before crossing a zebra crossing, I would spin 3 times in the high street, and then I would walk across it backwards. I would completely do things to just start verse jumping. And then from that point, the whole day was just super magical, because we were doing things that we wouldn't typically do. So I'm just like walking backwards. It doesn't matter if I'm being like watched by people on the street. I'm just laughing and enjoying. You can do things in that carefree state. Like, do things that you just, even if it's so small, if you take route A home, take B home, and see what shows up. You're creating openings for the universe to bring in people and opportunities that you wouldn't typically be part of your normal algorithm. So if you can deviate from what's statistically probable in your normal universe, then you place yourself, especially if it's vastly different, at the edge of your local cluster, and you're literally seated and becoming the version of self that originates from another coordinate. And reality is like, hold up, this version of Mo, what, he's in this restaurant? Okay, let's send people into his experience. Let's give him these epiphanies or downloads or insights. Let's have him bump into this person because he's doing things that he wouldn't typically do. That's our opportunity to come in. Like, that's our window. So that's how, you know, the same thing. Like, it's very much, oh my
that's
god,
funny
to play with. So let's like throw this in. So that's what we're being advised to do during this time, for sure.
Yeah, that's funny. That made me think like spirit, like our spirit guys up in the headquarters are like, all right, man, all right, go to the next person. Oh, he's here. All right, drop it in them. Go. Give me the downloads.
It's very much.
You had to get to a certain coordinates on the earth and shit, so they can actually start sending you different vibrational information and downloads. It's like.
Yeah. It's very much like that.
That's funny.
It's 100%. And we can see that's really when the magic happens, because we lean into something, oh, that is unknown. Like, I am opening up to this experience or this pathway. And that's when we begin to see the synchronicities or the signs. And it's because we're tuning into the quantum realm. Like, we are opening ourselves up to possibilities and allowing the universe to show us how good things can get, and to actually see the unknown as a friend instead of something to fear. It's like, oh, we went into the unknown and actually something good happened. It reminds me of a video I watched the other day, and it was this guy explaining where it's like kind of like the Yes movie, where he's saying yes to things that he would typically say no to. So he would say yes to like going to this dinner, and he met this man and spoke about his whole life. And then from there, he met someone that he jumped on his motorcycle. He got taken to this place, and he ended up at this restaurant. And as soon as he stepped outside the doors of this restaurant, he bumped into a friend that he hasn't seen in like 10 years. So it's like those are where those magical well-aligned collisions can come in, when we do the thing that we wouldn't typically do. Like, we put ourselves out there, we send that ripple, or we put our work out there, and then someone intersects with that ripple through space-time, and then an opportunity surfaces or a connection surfaces. Like, abundance wants to collapse into our life through all forms, but how open are we to that and not fixated or rigid? It has to happen this way.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you're right. I was listening to Aaron Lyons dropped a video yesterday, a couple of days ago. It was fire. I suggest, if y'all want to go, she was cooking. I'm like, cooking. cooking. And you know, but one of the things she said was definitely like, you know, go out and be spontaneous. You know, being spontaneous is it's supported right now. Be spontaneous, you know, because like you said, you know, many things can collapse into your experience by just doing something different, you know.
100%. Shaking up the algorithm. Can you embody a parallel version of self? What would that version of self do, or how would they respond? And make it statistically improbable. Like, if you're literally recoding the matrix as you do that, you create glitches in it because you are becoming the glitch from what you had programmed into your system. You're literally collapsing that version of self. So, and we can observe fear that happens in the body as we do it, but we still act even in the presence of that fear. Like, we can observe, and it's not fear of the new, it's often fear of like the old structures or the familiar past collapsing in that moment. So if we can hold space for being in that liminal space, that's where so much of the magic resides.
That's real. That's exactly what a magic revive. It's right there. That's where it's at during the cultivation period, during the what we may call delays or the waiting. Like, all right, what are you doing in between that period? Like, can you still hold a level of or maintain a certain vibration? You know, I think maintenance is good because we go up, down, in, out, diagonal all the time. So it's just like being able to realize, like, okay, this is the period where I need to be conditioning myself. It's the most important part, you know, during these periods of uncertainty, and then still choosing to be certain about. I trust my work, and I trust God, and I trust what I'm doing is going to manifest itself in the way that it's supposed to, not in the way that I got it fixated in my mind. Being open for the greatest possible outcomes.
Yeah. If we can almost dissolve what our point of reference has been, because we can sometimes only like refer based upon how things have gone. But when you embody an octave of self, when you're open to a different octave of experiences, then there is no reference point. Like, it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't have to. But if you can trust yourself into that, reality will keep reinforcing that to you. If you have this internal knowing and you move forward with faith, right? Not just by sight, but by trusting that internal knowing, that becomes your new reference point of, oh, that's when this magical alignment or this opportunity surfaced in my experience. And we gently create those new points of reference, and we also show our body and our logical linear mind, this is when the magic happens. It's the more of, oh, you did lean into something new, you took route B home, look what happened,
right?
Like, you're safe. Like, there wasn't a car that crashed, there wasn't a Jaguar that came out, there wasn't someone that jumped in front of your car. Like, you were safe, you were secure. You know, no one was following you on the street. You were stable, you were present, and so you begin to adapt. It becomes your new normal to kind of just take the route that you wouldn't take, and that can be a reference for life itself, you know.
For sure. Yeah, that's what time it is. That's definitely what time it is. For sure. But I'm about to get ready to hit this gym. It's early side over here, but I just wanted to tap in with the famski, show some love, show some support, and just kind of you know, share what I've been able to discover, you know, in these past since the last time we met up. So
yeah, thank you.
I appreciate you.
It was a beautiful way to close out. So thank you so much.
Already.
Hop on and
appreciate it. Much love to everybody. 100. Y'all doing it. Y'all doing it. Just keep going. Like, let it out. If you got to scream, let that shit out. If you got to cry, let that shit out. Let's go. We on. Let's get
it. See you. Yeah, you guys can find Mo on you can find him on other lives. And Richie said, I love you, Mo. We love you too, Richie. Great to see you. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in for this full moon in Scorpio. It was a beautiful one. We hope to join you again here very, very soon. Hopefully next time I hop on live, it will be with Mo, and we can dive deep and yeah, talk more, but it was perfect for today. So this one wasn't unexpected. This was just like a part 2, I guess, from the one that we did earlier. But yeah, you've got this. That was beautiful. Yeah. Thank you everyone who was in the live chat. I'm also gonna check. I think there was one more super chat by Deadpoo. Thank you so much for your super chat. May the energy that you send out return to you tenfold. You're deeply, deeply appreciated. And thank you everyone. Thank you everyone who's co-created in the space, everyone that silently showed up and co-created. I could feel during the meditation, just one thing I've learned through doing these deep collective meditations is there's a lot more that's amplified in the field. So I'm gonna thank each and every single one of you for doing this work internally, because when I tell you it's rippling through the etheric realm and I can feel it, sometimes I have to like actively ground back in my body. It's way more than a solo meditation. It's very, very powerful. So we'll definitely hop on here at some point soon, I hope, and do a collective meditation. We'll do healing work. We'll do deep dives, explorations, DNA reprogramming. Today I tried to keep it a bit more light work. But yeah, I think that so many of us have been already moving through the deepest depths of ourself, and you are an alchemical powerhouse and a transduction machine. So just understand that you can always transmute a lower energy state into a high energy state. So yeah, change the way that you're thinking about it, change the way that you're feeling about it, and then you'll change the way that you're experiencing it. Remember to see life through the lens of the soul, and you'll see it clearly. This is the realm of energy, manifest into form. It's something for you to play with and navigate through. You're not just consciousness localized to the body, but you're the very field that the body moves through. So thank you so much. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Lotus Mindset. Thank you, everybody. We're deeply appreciated. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Until next time, bye.